Welcome back, travelers. If you're new here, my name is Brenna. I am your ready for anything and nothing at all DM, and welcome to Tales from the Catacombs. This is our tabletop RPG adventure that we are thrilled to share with you. This game uses the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition system and rules, and the setting is a homebrew based on the rock album Razia's Shadow by Forgive Durden. We have a brief introduction to the setting that you can read at your leisure. I hope you will, so you can be as immersed in the world as our players are. Please enjoy this episode of Razia's Shadow, a 1,000-Year Interlude. Session 23, Between the Pages. At Captain Nora's home, Beau learned more about her illness and her early encounters with the dark when she was young. While Ste'yn, Viola, and Snow made their way, Snow had a striking realization that his vivid dream was indicating that something was wrong with his twin sister, Taryn. He used the travel time to begin describing his twin to Ste'yn so she could cast Ascending out to Taryn the next day. The others arrived, and their debrief with Captain Nora was interrupted when Snow mentioned that there was a shard of dark focus in Nora's home. They suspected it was that very type of item that let them exit the dark that they had stumbled into near Hazelford. Nora admitted that there was another reason she wanted to see them right away. The guards investigating Undra, including Captain Elikinasalin, didn't find the underground temple, and she planned to investigate on her own. The novices agreed to help her. As they prepared to leave, Beau had another bout of memory loss. Ooh. The novices set out with the captain towards Undra. They told her about the doctor's journal, and they discovered, and how her childhood and symptoms greatly resembled one of the humans subjected to the doctor's experiments. With some pushing through the medallion of detect thoughts, Nora remembered the worst of her encounters with the dark as a child, by the hand of the doctor and her own father. The rest of the trip was in relative silence, as they first went to the clearing to retrieve the rest of Helena Fresca's lost items. While investigating, the group was ambushed by a giant tree that sprang to life and knocked Viola into a 30-foot pit, the one likely created when Nora activated a trap the week before. Viola and Beau were in the pit and didn't see what Snow, Ste'yn, and Nora witnessed: more approaching midnight chickens, and what appeared to be the guard Ziva shambling towards them, only she looked more dead than alive. Let's roll some initiative, shall we?
I rolled a natural 1 for a total of 4.
19.
12.
Didn't come here to do math.
20.
What you guys see in front of you, you had heard the sound and you had felt the swipe of this enormous branch that had come careening in your direction. Viola was not able to dodge it the way the others were and went sprawling backwards down into a 30-foot pit, crashing into the ground, the wind completely knocked out of her. Up above, the three who are still at the top of the pit, Ste'yn, Snow, and Nora. You can see now that there is movement to your right, where this enormous tree still is mostly fixed in place, but you can now see it lurching, moving as if a very strong breeze or a storm wind were rocking it. But there is no wind. There is nothing else moving it except itself. And ahead of you, now coming out from the further tree line, you can see a number of those familiar little muscly, gooey, disgusting chicken-like creatures, but rather than a tail or most of its body, it's these flapping, kind of squelching, muscly bits beside each other, kind of slapping together as they are screeching and running forward towards you. And you also see the half-shambling form in the familiar garb of a guard in the guardianship of Grachi Minot, and you recognize what mostly remains of her general features as Ziva, although what you do see very sickly, pallid, her hair still in a braid, what remains of it in a very messy, kind of pulled apart braid, but the majority of her hair is essentially in these pitiful clumps, and it is all white. So Ste'yn, you're first. This is the scene you see in front of you. There's also on the ground are a couple of these graves that you had seen around the big tree, and that whole side of the pit. There's only 2 in the map, but imagine there's a handful of them around. What would you like to do?
Ste'yn is going to sort of do a quick turnaround, look around, get a scope of what all is going on, see where Viola flew off to. She's going to cast Beacon of Hope, which will, I can choose any number of creatures within range and everyone close, but I think with the way the angles work, Viola is just in it. But anyway, for the duration, the target have advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws, and regain maximum number of hit points possible from any form of healing, including things like second wind. And that stays up for up to a minute so long as I maintain concentration.
All right. Are you going to move at all?
I'd like to move her essentially over here towards the edge of the pit to try and help out with getting Viola up if needed, and staying close enough for other people to be in her Beacon of Hope range.
Excellent.
Does that range float with you or go with you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It's centered on her.
Oh, okay.
She is
Cool. So it's like an
the Beacon
aura.
of Hope. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Is also modest.
You could imagine her slightly glowing, like she casts a spell and this like little pulse of light just sort of goes out from her in this big radius, and just she's a beacon of hope right now.
It's like a lamppost that moves.
Or
But
that.
it is. Then that would make it Beau's turn. Beau, you're in the pit with Viola.
And
30 feet down. And a rope attached to you where Viola had been pulling you, or like holding on. So you have a rope attached to you that Viola is no longer holding because it is knotted to a tree she thought was secure. In her defense, it totally was secure before.
So that light, does Beau see the light from where he's at anyway? Like, I get that he's not in it, but does he see it? Or maybe he is in it now because she moved.
The beacon of light coming off of Ste'yn?
Yeah, I'm just curious if he sees that from where he's standing.
I'm certain he'd be able to see it. And even through the dark here, it's that light mist. You'd be able to see her from up above.
All right, cool. He's going to, because he has a mind link still up from when they started.
Isn't
So he's
like,
going.
Don't you have like 5 hours of that or something?
I don't remember how much time, but I at least know we're within time right now.
We're within time.
He's going to mind link over to Ste'yn because he doesn't really know entirely what's going on up there.
Ste'yn, what's happening?
We have abyssal chickens, a tree waking up, and zombies either.
Okay. Thanks.
He's gonna. So Viola's on the ground prone right in front of him, right?
Correct.
He's going to use his action to help pick her up so that she's on her feet for when her turn starts.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, goodbye. He's gonna run off now. So that's...
Now that you're on your feet, farewell.
That was honestly a big
See you
moment,
later.
So kudos to Beau.
So that would be...
somehow.
So it would be 40 feet just to get up to here. So he's gonna use his bonus action to give himself more movement because he doesn't want to be in that pit anymore.
So the wall here is not, the walls are not steady, even with his, what's it called? The spider climb?
Yeah.
For his ability to climb up this wall. So I would have you, you could roll with advantage, I would have you roll acrobatics. In the same way that you needed to be helped down.
With advantage, it's a dirty 20.
Excellent,
Now
you are
that
able
Beau
to make
has
your way
left,
up.
the rope is also gone.
Well, yeah, I picture him using that to also kind of help him to get up, which
To get up.
didn't. I didn't think about
That's
that.
true, the rope is tied to you.
He
so
thought
you
of
brought
it. He
with
thought
you.
of picking you up.
You thought about it. It didn't happen.
Well, I mean,
but
he did.
Well,
No, no, he picked
did,
her
I
up.
will say, I think
Oh, I
we used
think
Under
100
her
feet of
feet.
rope. So
Yeah.
there's a chance that there's enough extra because it's only a 30-foot hole
Do you think
it's
that
like looped down.
If you grab that rope, you're gonna bring him right down to you. I guarantee. He
I
does
just
not
gotta
have.
find the right end to grab.
He does not have enough strength
Just
to
give it a tug.
hunker down. So wait, he
That's
still has 20 feet of movement. Think. Oh, that's another pit. Why are there so many pits?
Where are you
It's
looking?
pitiful.
This.
That is to the left of Nora, at the top of the pit. That is a grave. It is a shallow grave.
Actually, I think I'll just position him right there. He doesn't want to be on the corner because he doesn't want to get pushed into the pit.
Okay.
All right, and then since that was his bonus action, all of his stuff is used. So, or actually, I'm gonna put him right here instead. I don't want him too close to that tree. So that's what you could do. So he's behind Nora, or next to Nora, rather.
Okay, so on the opposite side of Nora from the tree,
Yeah.
next to this little grave.
Yep.
This little army of these midnight chickens start moving forward. Snow, you see the two in front of you that are barreling towards you and leap in your direction. One of them comes up to you to take a bite, and you
Falls
watch
into the
it.
grave.
You watch it kind of flutter up with those disgusting knot wings, just smacking together, pulling like this black viscous goo every time they move apart, and it moves towards you and tries to take a bite out of you.
Very gross.
In your disgust, you're moving back, just flinching at it, and it misses, but it then starts wildly clawing with its feet and roll the exact same number, which definitely misses. And then you see the other do the same. It comes up towards you. This one crosses the grave entirely, that shallow grave. And it is going to also take a bite. Ooh. 23 to hit.
Just
Imagine
misses.
Dang. Boy, you're lucky. For clarity, I'm going to ask, does that hit? It doesn't hit.
Yes.
Okay. For those who are playing at home, he was joking. Before I start rolling dice. So it's going to be 5 piercing damage as its little disgusting beak with additional teeth for some reason, like it needs that, bites down on you. And it is also going to attempt to claw with its feet. That's a natural 1. It is definitely going to miss. You watch as the 2 midnight chickens who were pecking and clawing at you from the air, the one to your right drops down to the ground and still screeching at you. The other also drops midair, but it was over the pit, the little, not the pit, the shallow grave. And you kind of watch it sink down a couple feet. So it's like, it's just sitting at your foot level now, inside of the grave.
And stay in there.
Might have been for the best for it. It's Tree Baby's turn. You guys hear the creaking of branches, the snapping of twigs. You feel the ground shuddering just a little as roots begin to pull up. The branches begin to move. Another branch comes swinging
At whom?
Yeah.
at Ste'yn.
Cool.
Oh.
That is a 25 to hit.
Oh,
That
dang.
was
Gonna
pretty
hit.
catch-up necessary.
This branch is actually, so one branch had come around, which was the one that clocked Viola. This is the branch from the other side, swinging around. So it's actually gearing you in the direction of the forest where the chickens had come from. But you might
Excellent.
not get knocked over. We'll see.
What if she just lands on Viola? After she just got picked up.
That is going to be...
Viola gets up, dusts herself off.
Yikes. It comes creaking across for 14 bludgeoning damage as it slams into you. And with that same arm that seems to be frenzying around you, ready to strike, it's going to attack one more time.
Mr. Long Arms.
He's got pretty decent arms. That's going to be... Woohoo, that's also going to hit. That's a 28, if I math correctly?
Boo.
The arm comes back down, and you can feel one of the smaller branches surprisingly limber as it wraps around you. You are grappled and you are going to
Just
take...
Always.
Yeah, you know. Just... Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not a save because the attack is what did it. But
Okay.
you will be able to attempt to escape it.
Okay.
I just love
And an
grabbing
additional...
sand.
Yeah. And an additional 7 bludgeoning damage. Tree wants to eat.
Did she succeed those con saves?
You didn't have to mention it.
Well,
Wasn't that
did.
funny on the
No, he
first
did.
one?
Hey.
Heck yeah.
That's
That should mean auto success.
dirty 20 on the second one.
Nice.
So
Yeah. And then the tree starts moving with Ste'yn in its grasp. At this point, it hasn't had a chance quite to lift her up. It's kind of just dragging her through this dirt as it starts moving. It doesn't go far. It just is kind of getting to know its roots. Down below, Viola, you can see these roots that were kind of sticking through parts of the wall of the pit. You can see them wriggling. Some of them disappear through a hole in the pit. And up above, you can see some of these roots that are kind of swaying over the edge of the pit, just in your line of sight.
Is
It
that like
wants-
You're safer down there.
You might
what?
Save
Is that
yourself.
like all the way like to here on the pit?
to in front of you.
Yeah.
It's just, it seems like whatever that interconnected web of vine, it doesn't go much further than probably where you are, and maybe another, like, it's about 15 feet in any given direction. We'll put it that way, mechanically speaking.
I just had a wild thought for if only Beau actually was strong. What if you just used it as a tripwire to make it fall into the pit? The rope that's tied to it?
Wouldn't
You can
that
try
be
it
nice?
anyway, just for fun.
No, that would be such a waste of time.
I'm trying to think, if I move here,
He would be on his chicken if it's 4x4.
That's fine.
you know what? Yeah, he's on top of the chicken. He kind of squishes part of the chicken a little bit. One of the branches kind of hurts a little
Okay.
hard on that chicken. Which chicken is this?
What?
I'm gonna mark it on that chicken's health. Take that, chicken. He wants to move. He doesn't care. Speaking of chickens, another one of the chickens starts moving. It is... Y'all can't quite see, but they start fluttering, a little unsure of where to go, other than they're looking for prey. So it starts moving, sees a helpless-looking victim, and starts flying downwards into the pit.
Oh, down there. I thought they were seeing the helpless grappled person, not the swarming
Nope, the
down.
helpless person on the floor. Yeah. But it's going to take all of their movement. And you notice too, Viola, you see them start fluttering with those disgusting flappery things. And before they reach the bottom, I'm going to give you a free perception check.
You say well.
So generous.
11.
Okay. You notice their little flap things kind of stop moving quite as quickly, just shy of the bottom of the pit. And they almost seem to drop the rest of the way. Like they could not maintain their flight that long. And they drop to the ground. But they are now in the bottom of the pit with you.
So what you're saying is they can't fly back out.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just giving you a free perception check. And then 2 more of these chickens. They come up to you, Beau, from this top corner of the map, from behind. He comes up to you, and he's also going to attempt to bite. That is an 18 to hit.
That will hit.
His ugly, toothy beak chomps down. That is for 5 points of damage, 5 points of piercing damage. It's going to also attempt to scratch. That is a 14 to hit.
It would technically hit, but he's going to cast Shield, so that would bump his AC up to an 18, which is why I didn't use it before, because otherwise it wouldn't really matter. But he has that, and a shadow version of Beau hops up from the ground, and it redirects the attack, making it miss him, and then it just seeps into the ground, because it's up until his next turn.
Nice.
Wow.
I love everything about that. So it's not that the attack, it's just that the attack misses, not that it has to attack something else.
So it just misses, like it doesn't aim at somebody else, but
Not
that's what it looks
sanctuary.
like. Yeah,
not
it just
sanctuary.
looks that way of it moving around him
Did you
instead of hitting.
A second chicken comes up towards you, Beau. This one is also fluttering over that grave. But this one lets out this shriek. And you've seen this before, as it kind of looks like it's about to hawk a nasty loogie, and then it just spits this spray, this black spray. That is going to be an 18.
Okay.
You still have your shield up.
Yeah, but it's an 18, so it still hits me.
Excellent.
Is it a ranged
Oh,
attack?
that's right. Meets it, beats it. Okay.
Is that a ranged attack?
It is a ranged attack. In a 20
Then
Oh,
it has
if it's
disadvantage.
ranged, it has disadvantage if it's up close to me. Good call.
Because he's in melee.
Look at
I got you,
that.
Beau.
Chicken don't know. Oh, it rolled better the
They're
second
dumb.
time.
Oh, well.
Dang it.
Sorry.
But not dumb enough.
And it's going to be 4 necrotic damage. And I need you to make a constitution saving throw for me. I didn't ask this time. I just said I need you to. Once I asked,
that is
he
a
was
3.
like, no. A 3? Okay.
Yeah.
You get sprayed directly in the face, all across your front with this black goo. It's viscous, almost like, it's like a little bit thicker than blood. And you feel like it is just kind of sticking to you. It's not feeling good. It finishes its turn, and you also watch it almost as if its little flaps are tired, and it drops into the grave in front of you. All this cacophony is happening.
Knew he should have used his action to cast Mage Armor instead of helping Viola.
You know? No good deed goes unpunished, as they say.
Ain't that just the way?
Nora
Let's go, queen.
immediately draws
Save us.
her dagger. She draws that
Come on,
that
Captain.
pitch black knife at her side. Whew, boy, this is not a good situation.
Maybe her gun, too. Come on,
Uh,
girl.
She's
Well, the
going
one creature is
to...
close range.
Yeah, but she's going to... Oh, that one's in the pit. This one is not. So she's not out of this thing's reach, but she's going to attack first this chicken here that was attacking Snow.
The other one would get an opportunity attack, wouldn't it?
Oh,
If she
yeah.
moved
As a
down.
reaction.
Yeah.
Lame-o. Okay, then she'll just go for this one. Kind of going on her knees and like jamming her dagger into the grave. She rolled a 13, which hits. She jams this dagger into the little chicken. She's going to attack it again. Is going to hit it again. Come on, Nora, you gotta do better than this. As if slightly losing her footing, but she does manage to get a good chunk off of that creature. And with this not understood ferocity, she goes again, and she hits it again. And with 3 well-placed blows with her dagger, she just kind of tears this one in half and lets it kind of fall back into the grave. And in that familiar way, for those who can see it, so Snow, you can see it kind of do that gross melting back into the dirt. But this one is dead. You see her look around for a moment, and then you hear, "I'm right behind you." And then you see this white mist all of a sudden just completely engulf her. Viola,
Bye, Nora.
you see a white mist appear not far from you as Nora is standing there beside you.
Why'd she come down here? It's
Bye.
not fun down here. I'm trying to get out of here.
Wait, did she just Misty Step?
What it look
And
like?
that's going to be...
Yeah, but isn't Misty Step only 30 feet? That would be 40.
He gets most of the way and kind of like does this cool slide down the bottom of the pit. She has movement to get herself where she needs to go. Next, now you can see this gross, tainted version of that guard that you met before. She starts kind of shambling forward, and the kind of unknowing look on her face that was previously there slowly turns into a slightly crazed smile as she's taking in the scene. She opens a pocket on this something she's wearing beneath the cloak. You can see her move it aside, and there's a pocket, and she pulls something out of that pocket that almost seems like it's too big to have been in there in the first place. And she is now wielding this, looks like a staff or some kind of like mace kind of thing. There's a sharp pointed kind of metal ball at the top of it. She is going to move forward. She's going to attack you first, Beau.
But she liked Beau.
You do see a smile, and she might be mouthing something. It's kind of hard to tell. That's a 24 to hit.
Yeah.
That's 8 points of bludgeoning damage. And then she brings the flail type thing back around to strike at you, Snow. 15 to hit? No, Snow. We need to get you stronger leather.
This is the strongest leather armor there is.
That is also going to be 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right.
That's going to do it for her. And you see it as well, Snow. She almost seems like she might be mouthing something quietly. Viola.
Well, first, Viola's gonna look at Nora and say, "What the heck? Why are you down here now? I was just gonna try to get out."
She looks between you and the midnight chickens that got here. I wanted to make sure you were all right. At least I can help you get out.
Can she?
Sure.
She can give her a boost.
You can
Yeah.
Viola has to be like huge compared to her, right?
Yeah, she's not so like
She's
a
not.
buff woman.
She's not.
Okay. First thing I'm gonna do is second wind. And
get
I'm in
max.
Oh, I'm sorry.
aura
You're-
or whatever, so I get max.
Viola, before you do that, please make me
I don't want to.
a
Oh yeah.
dexterity saving throw, please.
Also, while I'm doing this, what's the blood situation? I forgot to ask about that.
I feel like that's what this is.
That is a 6.
A 6?
Uh-huh.
Ay, ay, ay. Oh, Viola. As you were turning to talk to Nora, wondering what the heck she was doing coming down here, you feel the ground below you getting a little bit soggier. Your feet are kind of sinking just a little bit. You're not falling in, but it's very damp where your boots are. And this dark red liquid seems to be pooling up by your feet and coming up around your ankles. And you feel this as if your foot was starting to fall asleep, this almost numbness. It's going to be 2 points of necrotic damage. And it just seems like it is coating your foot.
Okay. Well, then she does her second wind.
Okay. You do your second wind, and you realize it is not affecting you the way that you want. You do not get the healing from it.
None at all?
As you feel it should be affecting you, again, that tingling in your foot is just immense. Like you need to get this stuff off.
So do I still have to mark my second wind as being used since it didn't do anything?
You took the action. It's an action.
It's a
It's a
bonus
bonus
action, but
action.
yeah.
Bonus action. I'm afraid, Soul.
Oh, gosh dang it. Well, I want to do a quick scan and see if it's... Looks like it's getting pretty evenly bloody across the whole pit, or if there's like a somewhat higher area.
Give me a perception check.
A 16?
You can tell that it is, right now, it's only appearing to pool around your feet. And it's all relatively even down here. It's not like a higher or lower. But it just seems to be where you are standing before you were able to start moving. There it was. And it does kind of rescind a little bit, but what's on you is on you.
Well, here's what I would like to do. I would like to run over to this corner so we're away from the chickens. But I would
That
like
corner?
to try and grab Nora and take her with me so I'm not leaving her right in front of these chickens by herself.
Like grabbing a mannequin and just
Okay. Give me an athletics check. You're probably going to have to just carry her. Just like
That
takes
is
her under
a
her arm.
21.
You are deft enough and strong enough that you can kind of pull her with you in that direction.
So I'm gonna guess that uses her action because she had to carry her.
Yes.
That's all she's got. Oh, my health is not so good.
It'll be fine. There's another reason.
And you've left behind the people who can help you, so...
Well, I was trying to get away from the chickens and the blood.
You're a ranger, make them friendly.
Yeah.
Make them fight for you.
All right. Up above, the last two of these creatures start moving. One comes up towards you, Beau.
Why not?
It's going to attempt to bite. That's over 18 for 4 piercing. And it's going to stretch. That is only a 9. That is
Good.
not going to hit.
Because that's how much my health is.
Oh, yay.
Twins.
The last of these chickens, they're actually moving away from where the group is up top. And while the others, the two below, can't see this, it appears to be waiting perched.
Would it have its
at
sights
the
on
top.
them from the angle of 30 foot down and how far back it would?
It actually, if you recall, does not have much sights at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How could it be
It's
waiting for them if it
feeling.
could see them? Oh, these things got tremor sense?
It's feeling things. Snow.
He feels the urge, as everything is going so badly around him, to cast invisibility on himself and flee, but he feels inside his vest pocket, he can feel the note that he got from Nora on our very first assignment saying that strength defends the meek. And he remembers what he would do when Taryn, his twin, would be frightened as a child during a storm. And so, under his breath, he starts reciting to himself the story of Josephus the Asimar, and using that storytelling both as a means of giving himself courage and as his spellcasting focus. He is going to first cast Healing Word on Beau at 3rd level, giving him 16 hit points back. For
Nice
his
story,
action,
Snow!
he is- For his action, he is casting Vicious Mockery on the very mean tree.
Is that a saving throw?
It has to make a Wisdom save.
I rolled a nat
Excellent.
1 on that, by the way.
Alright, it takes 5 points of psychic damage, and it has disadvantage on its next attack.
What's the insult?
So since he's telling the story, he's just like muttering it under his breath, like really, really fast. Most of the time you can barely make out even what he's saying, but when he gets to Josephus's war cry of Vivere, he just screams that at the tree.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes the psychic damage from. And
All
I
right.
am not going to move because there is no good place to move to. So that is his turn.
That's going to bring us to the top of the round, which is with
Woo.
you, Ste'yn. You can make
Okay.
a DC 15 athletics.
If I do that, is that my action?
I'm going to say it's not your action to break the grapple, which is part of the start of your turn.
So that's a strength check.
I'm going to say it's athletics to get out.
That's
Break a grapple
dirty
is either
20.
athletics or acrobatics.
You manage to pull yourself free from some of these stray limbs, these branches that were trying to grab you, and you hadn't quite gotten off the ground, so you're not tumbling too far, only a couple feet. It's not that bad.
Excellent. As she's breaking free of the grapple, she's muttering a prayer to Atala. She sort of throws her head back a little bit as she begins to shimmer even more, and her form starts, her eyes start glimmering, and behind her start spreading 2 giant wings. She'll use a couple feet of her movement to just like fly right off the ground. She's staying in melee with zombies even because she doesn't want to get opportunity attack from that, but she's just lightly hovering where she is. She is quite mad. So that's her action to pull that out. Bonus action this time is to bring up Spiritual Weapon.
Let's go.
Looks like a nice shovel decorated with roses. And it'll come right between her and Snow. And then she is going to use Spiritual Weapon to whack Ziva over the head. 26 to hit.
26 will assuredly hit, yes.
Good. And that does, max damage. So that is 12 damage plus 5 extra from her flying form. So that is 17 radiant damage to Ziva.
17 radiant damage.
Oh no, sorry, it's 5 radiant and 12 force. I forget that Spiritual Weapon does force damage.
Okay. As it strikes her, she lets out this awful half howl, half scream as it makes contact with her, and then is looking fiercely in your direction. Anything else?
Ste'yn's gonna move just a step closer to Snow to try and protect her friend.
Oh,
Right,
a little
well,
surrounded over there by
yeah,
that grave.
since he got healed up some, I'm gonna have him take an attack with his psychic dagger at Ziva, because I feel like she's gonna be a problem if we keep her around. She hits pretty heavy. It's 13.
13 misses.
Okay, he's gonna use his bonus attack to strike with another dagger. Okay, that one is 15.
Very close, but not quite close enough.
Okay, and then I'm not gonna have him move because he's surrounded.
Les chickens, they are next. So just the one that was outside of the pit. For a second, its unseeing face is looking around kind of spastically before seeming to target in a direction which just seems to be the same direction it had been facing. It decides to keep going. It opens its mouth and it is going to let out that disgusting spit towards Snow. That's only an 8. So you are able to duck out of the way as this little spray comes out. Does no more than maybe just the edges of your cloak. But you don't feel any effect from it. The tree. The ground is tremoring again as it just starts moving. It moves in such a strange way, like it's almost confused in its movement. It doesn't seem like there's rhyme and reason. As it starts moving to the side, and from within the pit, you see more of the roots pulling into the wall, disappearing, leaving these big marks, these pock marks in the wall. And then it starts moving back in the other direction, like it's very unsure, back and forth. And then its arm, you hear a creaking that sounds more like a groaning as another arm comes swinging down. And it's actually going to strike, surprisingly, at the chicken at its feet. The arm comes swinging. It's so low to the ground, though, it actually missed the chicken, which is something else.
It's just gonna try again, right?
It sure did try again. This one did manage to hit the stupid. You see it come crashing down, and it seems to take the chicken into its own grasp and, like, squeezes. And you hear this awful little, like, squeak more than a screech as it wraps around that chicken and just squeezes. You're watching as even from between the branches, it's just dripping this black ooze. They, down in the pit, head straight back in your direction.
Wait, were they on the ground? Did they make a dexterity against the blood?
They did not. Thank you. So they failed that roll. And you guys see as this dark, bloody liquid starts covering them, it's like flaps about them. It's kind of spraying a little bit off as they approach. They are now covered in this gross. As they come up and they take a bite at Nora. The first bite definitely misses, and the second attack will also miss. The chicken beside it, its first strike is going to be at Viola. That's only a 6 to hit.
Definitely not.
And that's only an 11 to hit.
No.
So it also does not manage to claw at you. And then the ones back up top. This one is going to flap and try and get back to a proper level with Beau. 7 for the bite.
It misses.
Its claw is going to be 18. It's still not your
Well,
turn yet, though, is it? Or is it down?
No, he went, so it is down. But even if it was up, it would have been an 18. So it still met it.
Oh, that is only 6 damage. It is
Okay.
6 slashing damage with its claw. The one in front of you, the disgusting little chicken in front, he's going to attempt to spit at you again. It's only a 10 to hit.
That misses.
Nora, starts to kind of hope you'll move back towards the wall to position herself between you and the chickens, and she also takes out a small vial for you with this rich red liquid in it and shoves it into your hands and turn herself right back around to these disgusting chickens. Dagger in hand, going for the one directly in front of her. That is definitely going to hit. And then she turns back around. You see that she goes for the chicken and she gets a good gash in it, but it is still flapping and wild and seemingly angry. It does not seem like it's doing enough. And then you see her with her other hand strike at it, just without weapon. Yeah, that just makes it. And as she makes contact, you hear this thing squelch and scream. You watch as she strikes. As it screams, it's this kind of short burst as the whole area where she hit it almost seems to darken for a moment before it stops moving, and you watch begin that melting you've seen before into the dirt. And then almost as if composing herself, she goes back with her knife hand to strike at the remaining chicken, which will hit. Okay. And this one gets a good chunk taken out of it as well. Without looking back at you, she does strongly insist, take the potion and we'll get out.
Sounds like a plan, Stan.
Please tell me you say it exactly like that.
I do.
Excellent. Ziva. She sees that, well, she's been struck by our friend who got free. She wields this flail again, and you see it kind of take on this greenish glow as she brings it down to strike you. That is a 20 to hit.
Yeah.
That's going to be 10 points of bludgeoning damage as this additional burst of this hot force follows. It's an additional 5
I thought she attacked with
fire
her
damage.
mace. She cast something?
She did.
Sounds like green flame.
Green, she's gonna stand there menacingly, taunting you with that strike. And you also, as you're looking at her, can kind of see her lips mouthing something.
Viola will take the healing potion. So what do I need to do for that?
Doing how we want to work angles, she might just be within Ste'yn's beacon range to get full healing from it. She's 25 feet away, but she's down in the pit.
I am
forgot.
39 feet away.
Before
Darn it.
anything, please give me another dexterity saving throw.
That's a 9.
You see more coming up from the ground, more of this bloody liquid that's covering your boots. Nora saw the same as well, and I did not roll for her, so I will do that real quick. You take 1 additional point of necrotic damage. She is taking a little bit more as it sticks to her, and she kind of like winces back a little bit.
Does the blood look like it's specifically pooling around our feet? Like it's not just an area effect, like it's specifically targeting us?
From your previous perception roll, it does look like it's certainly not where it was before. It looks like it is where you are now, by your feet. And it had popped up by those chickens when they were over there. It is no longer there.
How hurt does this chicken in front of me look? 'Cause
Quite.
She watched Nora.
You took a good dig into it.
Yeah. So I don't want to waste this potion. So here's what we're gonna do. We're going to try to kill this chicken first. So she's going to strike at it with her rapier. 15,
15 will hit. Roll your damage.
11 damage.
Yeah, your rapier sinks through this thing easily through where Nora had started to jam into it. You just finish the blow.
Then what she's gonna do is start trying to climb up this wall.
You start making your way up the wall.
She only has 30 feet of movement,
Yep.
so I don't think she can make it. I don't know that she can make it all the way up and out.
Stab
don't
your
know.
swords into it. Use them as like picks.
That was what I was planning on doing.
With your movement, you can start moving up the wall.
Can she make it all the way up or no?
Give me
Or actually, you know what? She would like to stop halfway so that she can kind of like help Nora the rest of the way out if she needs to. But while she's stopped halfway, she wants to try and drink that potion now that she's not standing in the blood anymore.
potion.
So I'm gonna have to action surge to get another action.
Give me an acrobatics check or athletics as you're making
I was
your way
gonna
up
say,
the
can
wall.
I do athletics?
You may.
That is a 22.
You make your way. You start to pause, but if you're indicating that you're waiting on Nora, she will tell you to keep going and she will follow you up.
Can I make it all the way out and not be like hanging on the edge since I only have 30 feet of movement?
You wouldn't be quite to the top with your, what's your
Yeah.
movement is 30?
30.
Yeah, you wouldn't be quite at the top. You'd be like 2 arms shy.
So she'd probably stay halfway just in case so that she's not up by that chicken up there. And then if she falls back down, she's not going to take a ton of fall damage again. But she would
Yeah.
like to go ahead and take that potion.
The potion would be an action to drink.
Yeah, she's going to
you
use
action
her
surge.
action surge
Yeah.
so that she has another action.
Yes. Hold
Wait,
me
if you're
accountable.
up on top of the wall, I think you're
Oh,
within
if I'm
range
only
to get.
15 feet down, I think I was 20 feet away. Now I'm only 15 feet. So I am 29 feet away from you.
Yes!
Aha!
Then you get full
What is this garbage math?
Full
Pythagorean theorem, baby.
Nora brought the greater healing, which is
Yes.
4d4.
Okay.
So 20.
20 healing.
Viola's
I
feeling
like her.
great now. She takes a swig of that potion and tosses it in the hole and hollers down at Nora. Thanks for that. That really helped.
Happy to help. That leaves us with Buddy
From
Boy.
her halfway up position, can she see what's happening in this area with Zombie Ziva and all that now?
You can see Ziva, Ste'yn, Beau, and one of those chickens from where
Okay.
you are. Yes. And you can see Ste'yn and Ziva going toe-to-toe. And you can see Ste'yn's beautiful wings now as well. This is now the second time you've seen these amazing wings of light behind her. This chickadee is also, you hear that screech and then like a kind of coughs up in its throat before it's gonna spit. That is an 11.
Haha.
It comes moving down in this direction. This guy up at the top of the pit is going to see, quote unquote, where Viola is climbing. And it is also going to try and spit down the pit. That's a 20.
Yay.
It's not a
Blood.
No! No!
Viola's just smiling, looking up, and then
No! This is a cruel, cruel world, and Brenna's out to get me.
She's right.
Yeah,
She
silvery
figured
barbs
it
that.
out. Oh?
I use my reaction to silvery barbs to have to roll again. Yep.
It didn't change much.
oh no.
And that is a 19 to hit.
No! That makes it! Gosh dang it!
So
I
sorry.
will, however, also with silvery barbs, I will give advantage to Ste'yn for her next ability check, attack, saving throw, etc.
That's gonna be as this disgusting spray of this thick, viscous black ooze just catches your face, your hair, your crown, the coin is sitting in your crown. That's gonna be 5 necrotic damage. And give me a constitution saving throw, please.
That's a 9.
The parts that are touching you, this disgusting dripping ooze that is touching you, similarly to that blood in the pit, it just kind of leaves you feeling like a little bit numb in some places.
Ew, this is nasty.
Snow.
First thing, bonus action, healing word to Ste'yn at 3rd level. So you get back 16 HP.
For that, sir?
You can hear he's still repeating the same story. When he gets to the end, he starts over. That is how he inspires you with his story of the first ASMR that he knows of. Whether it's legend or fact, who can tell? For his action, he is going to Vicious Mockery Ziva, which is a wisdom save from her.
No wonder she didn't think you were the funny one. How rude.
He's going to pause his story just long enough to say, "You smell funny," and that's his Vicious Mockery.
That is a 9. She rolls.
So she takes 5 points of psychic damage, and she has disadvantage on her next attack roll.
Ste'yn!
Wow.
Top of the round. What you got,
Yes.
Queen?
We're going to do a Ziva, I love you, but you gotta go. We're going to try and do a 2nd level guiding bolt
Good luck.
at our friends. It is a ranged spell, so it would be at disadvantage, but thanks to the advantage I get from Snow, it's just a normal attack roll. That is a natural 20.
Hey.
Yes!
Got him.
55 force damage,
That's the total.
and 5 radiant damage.
How much radiant?
5.
Wait, was I?
They do
55.
that.
Yeah, it was
Wait, sorry, that's
guiding
second-
bolt.
that's all
I think it's all
radiant.
radiant. Yeah, I was about to say.
It's all radiant. I can keep this straight. So that's 59 radiant damage. Is she still standing?
Honestly, I don't know what's left of her.
Do I need to hit her with a shovel or not?
You do not need to hit her with a shovel. You send out this bolt directly at her, point blank, and you watch as her entire body seems to just fragment and fray and peel apart, and the parts that are breaking apart, light is shining through it until the light kind of sucks itself back in and she is collapsed on the ground, slightly smoldering from this straight force of this damage. There's not a lot left of this corpse as Ziva drops.
Excellent. Which are all of these 3 chickens are still up?
If it doesn't have an X, they are up.
Excellent. Then we're gonna send guiding bonus
Guiding
action
shield.
is going to be spiritual
shield.
weapon to hit at. So we'll go for this one.
I am fond of snow.
That is a 15 to hit.
15 will hit. Roll damage.
That is 12
Heck yeah.
points of force damage. She's just gonna look around, sort of give a little huff. She's kind of proud of herself for what she's doing. Just crosses around as she's standing there surveying the scene, trying to figure out what to hit next.
And we'll never know what Ziva was mouthing. Oh!
Out of
gonna
sight,
be
out of
nice.
mind. He's gonna use his inspiration to give himself advantage and attack the chicken right in front of him. Ooh, nat 20. Ooh, this actually rolled super well. 19 damage doubled, and then plus 3.
With what were you using to attack it?
His psychic
Your last
dagger.
one? Your dagger sinks in, and this creature drops.
Nice.
For
And
the
then
dagger.
for his bonus action, he's gonna attack the one that Ste'yn just attacked in front of Beau. Oh, not Beau, Snow.
Okay.
He's gonna use his bonus action.
In this little trifecta
And
of
he's gonna miss
death
because he
around
rolled a
snow.
4, so it's only a 10. Unless a 10
Does not
hits.
quite.
Okay.
Does not hit.
That is his turn.
The
Yeah.
one on the other side. Oh, he's not dead, but he's grappled by the stupid tree.
Well,
Okay,
I thought the tree
let's see what he's
killed
got.
that one.
And he's unable to break free of a grapple. So, that's fun. And then the tree. It starts moving with this chicken in its hands. I need, first off, as it's moving,
Oh, hello.
Snow and Ste'yn. Roll me a dexterity saving throw as it's coming through, just uncaring of what is around it. So you guys manage not to get stepped on as it's moving. And then it is going to bring this arm that has also this chicken in its grasp, comes swinging. And it is a long arm. That is a 24 to hit.
To all of us?
That hits.
Yeah, it's
It's
the
24
whole.
hits.
Silvery barbs.
Okay, disadvantage.
Oh,
Who are you
nice.
giving advantage to while I roll this? And do math.
So,
Thank you.
That's a 13 to hit.
Hey!
Yeah!
Beau's
that
gonna
misses.
use his,
miss?
because his AC is right now a 13, but he's gonna cast shield. Shield, he's
does
an 18.
that hit the chicken?
13
Yeah.
hits the chicken. Yes. 13
Ah.
hits the chicken.
Misses all of us, but hits the chicken. For Snow's silvery barbs, he just yells out, "Jump!" and everyone just hops over.
The chicken did not survive this. You see, first you hear the thud of just the branch smacking into this soft surface that then gets launched towards the pit. But before it even gets far, you watch it dissolve into just a spray before it makes it to the bottom. A
Ew.
spray of dark ooze dropping into the pit. The other branch that is holding the chicken in its hands, you watch it clench again. And this time, instead of just small droplets, a whole just pouring more of this black ooze comes from the curled in branch over your heads. This guy, though, it's Beau's friend. Beau, your chicken friend, manically starts to flap up again, coming up to by your ankles. As it's passing your ankles, it takes a bite. That is a 7 to hit.
Misses.
And then it's coming, as it gets higher up in the air, it's coming at you with claws. It's not an 18, and you're still at 18 until the start of your turn or end of your turn.
My turn.
Yeah. It's gonna hang where it is, flapping about, and then it falls back into the little grave. I think that makes it Nora's turn.
If Viola sees
Thanks.
that she's getting ready to try and do anything with this chicken right here, Viola would yell at her to go and help the others that are fighting this big tree thing, because I think Viola can handle this one little chicken.
She looks at you, and there's this pained look on her face as you ask her to go elsewhere. But she will nod. More of the bloody liquid pools up around her feet, And you see her kind of wince and kind of start smacking at the blood, thinks better of it. Use her own movement to, I guess, start to go. She's not going to make it up in time. You see her...
Viola will yell at
pocket
her
her
and say,
dagger.
if you climb on my back, I could get you up the rest of the way.
Well, I'm confused. Isn't the wall only 30 foot, and she has 30 foot of movement when she gets to the top? She's right next to the wall.
Well, she gets up to the top. If she was told to get over to the others.
Well, I mean, she can only do
Not
so
her
much.
nasty.
Come on, she
Nora.
can only do so much, and she has a gun!
I know, but she starts to try to climb up to heed your advice. She starts to try to climb, but she is struggling to get... She's struggling to, like, get her a good grip, because the wall is very soft while you're rolling to try and get up. She's trying to come up behind you. She is struggling, not able to get up.
Ste'yn, it looks like you and Nora have something in common.
Not the time, Beau.
Was that out loud? Or
Yeah,
am I
you said
blank?
that out loud.
Nora doesn't understand what
Wow.
that means.
Get over it.
Okay. You see her struggling at the bottom, and then you see this frustrated look on her face before she looks around, and then you see her take her hand. Like she holds her own hand. Yeah, it seems odd. Until she very abruptly not standing there anymore.
She ditched us.
Viola?
Okay, so Viola would like to climb up to the top, but not get up yet because she's right on the edge below this chicken. But she would like to stab it from below, and then to get it off her sword, like flip it back over her back into the pit.
Yes.
Give me another athletics check to make sure you can hang on.
That's a 25.
Go ahead and roll your attack.
She's gonna do this with the rapier. That is a 13.
And a 13 will hit it.
Okay. 9 damage. And she's trying to, I don't know if she needs to roll anything extra, but she's trying to swing it like over her back, and so it like swings off her short sword and goes down into the pit. She will not be the only thing getting yeeted today.
You manage to catch it on your rapier and launch it behind you, and it will drop past and fall to the bottom of the pit.
Okay, now she still has 15 feet of movement. Can she use her last 15 feet to move over here?
Yes.
And then she'll take another swing at this chicken over here with her short sword. That is a 15. That is 9 damage again.
Yeah, get a good stab in on this chicken that's been bothering Beau. Like, sort of doing something, but not really doing anything, but also just annoying. It is Yeeted Chicken's turn.
Oh, it's still alive?
Oh, yeah, he's alive.
What about that fall
Taking
damage?
fall damage.
That fall
Fell 30
damage.
feet. Hold on. Yeah, it was a sickening squish at the bottom, but you still hear this pathetic little at the bottom of the pit.
So what about that deck save?
Not yet. Oh no, it did make it to the bottom of the pit. It is its turn.
yeah.
Wait, it does have to make it.
Yeah, it does.
yeah.
Come on.
You're following the track better than me.
Take that necrotic damage.
That's a nat 20 on it.
Yeah. Oh no. Never mind.
Boo!
Save.
You know, of all the saves for it to get a nat 20 on,
It is miserable and hurt at the bottom of the pit. I don't think any of you guys can see it at this point.
I think Beau could. He's like right there at the edge.
Oh, it's just fluttering and flapping and sad and making its way towards more sound, which appears to be in this direction.
He's
I'm
just
gonna make
laughing
the
at
ones
it.
that are- That's which rounds us off to Snow.
Gonna cast Fairy Fire over here, so it only affects the tree. That is a
Okay.
Dex save.
All right, that's a natural one.
Wonderful. This like blue glitter falls all over it and is outlining the tree, and it is now shedding dim light in a 10-foot radius, and all attacks against it have advantage. Bonus action, I will inspire Viola, because this is the first time I've gotten to interact with her this combat.
Woo!
Good to see you again. Glad you're not dead. Want to help us
Just,
fight some things?
Necrotic spit all over her face still.
Yeah, she is still covered.
Looking
It's
good,
gross.
queen.
Lady Ste'yn.
All right, Ste'yn is going to, staying within melee range of the tree, she's just going to fly straight up and try and like keep its attention on her instead of the people underneath it. So she just sort of flies straight up a little bit, probably about 10, 15 feet, because it's a tall tree, I'm guessing. Big tree.
Pretty big tree, yes.
Cool.
Gargantuan, you might even say.
Gargantuan, really? And then we're going to cast Guiding Bolt at tree for our action. We're just going to do a first level this time. 18 plus 7, so 25 to hit.
25 will hit it.
23 radiant damage. No, sorry, we're going to add 5 to that. That's 23 radiant damage plus 5, 28 radiant damage to the tree. And then she's going to bring her shovel over and hit at some of its roots. And that is a 18 to hit. Not as much damage. That's 6 force damage. And that is her turn. Bring it on, tree boy.
Beau.
Yeah, so he's out of some tricks. So he's gonna disengage as his bonus action, 35 to not be in its range, and then he's gonna throw a
Oh,
knife.
we discovered range.
He came up to a bunch of chickens, and he thought we were keeping a formation, but then Nora ditched us. So he's gonna throw a knife straight at it.
Put that into your subconscious and start disliking her, or I'm gonna cry real tears.
23 to hit.
23 will hit.
9 damage.
9 psychic damage. Okay, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, tree. Ste'yn, I think you've successfully gotten this tree's attention. As you're buzzing about its face and it's glowing, and these things are very frustrating for this tree. It's going to bring that branch coming up and swinging at you. 27 to hit,
Yeah.
16 bludgeoning damage as the tree smacks you while you're in the air. Okay. And with you in its limbs, since you don't seem to mind. We'll see what happens here. It is then going to try and keep you there. 25 to hit.
Yeah.
So you are
I'll silvery barbs that one.
okay. 22 to hit.
That still hits.
This time when it comes around and hits
I'll
you,
give
it
advantage
keeps you-
to Viola, by the way.
It's going to be 10 bludgeoning damage as you are grasped in it. And it has, in fact, a bonus action that I'd been forgetting about. Isn't that fun?
No, it's not fun.
We don't know what it is yet. It might just fall over.
Yeah, its bonus action is to die.
Bonus action to plant.
Its bonus action is to do a third attack only on a creature that it has grappled.
Boo.
A 19 to hit?
Yeah, that beats it.
Beats it. 14 piercing damage.
Yeah, your girl goes down.
No, we all pulled wrong. I mean, also, no, Ste'yn. Ste'yn, no.
My money! Send our cleric! The vine, the root around you, or the branch around you, squeezes and twists to get as strong a grip on you, and you feel it just absolutely knock you just senseless. All right. That is all of it's not moving. That is all it's got. I believe that takes us to the chicken. Over here next to Viola. It's going to bite at you, Viola. Pop up out of the grave. That's going to be a 17 to hit.
It does not hit.
Okay. As it comes up a little further, doing that same scratching with its claws. That's only an 8 to hit. And then you watch it, sad and tired, flops back into that little grave. And Nora, who appears, you see her climbing up from the pit. It looks like it was difficult. She's got a lot of dirt on her front and like jammed up in her fingernails and on her gloves. those cut-off gloves she wears. But she makes it back to the top, sees the chicken in front, wants to apologize, doesn't apologize, and attacks it. That's going to hit. So this chicken that had jumped up, Viola, to attack you and was about to fall back in, very abruptly, as it's dropping back down, Nora seems to come up out of nowhere, blade drawn, and goes to town. Just jams it into the side of this chicken. And she drives the dagger in one with it. That will hit. And with that last slash, the chicken falls back into the grave and instantly is that melted mess.
When she sees that happen, Viola will point out to Nora that Ste'yn is in trouble and we need to help her.
I like how Viola just keeps directing our boss.
Attention turns back to the tree, and she swears a little bit under her breath, but she will launch that last dagger at the tree. And the dagger goes sailing, catches it in the branch that is holding Ste'yn, not strong enough to have it let her go.
It's still grappling, Ste'yn?
Technically, yes. And she does call out, "We're on our way. Hold on. Viola."
Viola is just gonna head straight over here. She's trying to get at the branch that is holding Ste'yn. Is it too tall for her?
It is quite high up. Ste'yn had flown pretty high.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then she's just gonna start whacking at the base of this thing.
Advantage.
24.
24 will hit.
Okay. So because she's hit this tree and it's got her friend and she's feeling all these strong emotions, she's got this guy marked as her favorite foe, and this will last for 1 minute. And it does say including when you mark it, so I think I get to add the extra damage this turn. 15 damage. And then she's gonna hit it with her short sword. That is going to be another 24. 7 damage.
Anything else, Viola, or is that all?
I think that's all I got.
You guys hear this pathetic...
The saga of the chicken.
Should have thrown it down harder, I guess.
You hear this sad slapping of these meaty...
Oh, it's on the ground. Deck save.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Power up that old deck save.
It failed its dex save. As you hear this pathetic squelching sound of its little meaty, not real wings trying to get itself up and over, and it is just sitting sadly, toppling from its exhaustive fly at the corner of this pit. It lets out this spray, but that is only a 17 to hit.
No.
So it just lets out this pitiful, just gross spritz that doesn't get further than like Ziva's body, so it just covers this sad, broken up corpse. Snow.
Second level healing word on Ste'yn, which restores 7 HP. She's now awake with 7
Heck
HP
yeah.
as she hears the voice of Snow calling up to her. She's staying alive.
Ah, I see
And
what you
then
did there.
vicious mockery to the tree, so it's a wisdom save.
That is another natural one. This is
Takes
not a
3
wise
points
tree.
of psychic damage and has disadvantage on its next attack roll.
Top of the order. How you doing, Ste'yn?
She has 7 hit points, so she's thriving now. She's staying alive. She hears that, and she'd been just limp in the tree's grip, and then she just sort of snaps back into herself with the gas, and she's like, I will be staying alive. And she's going to attempt to grapple. That is a 17.
17 beats it.
So now she's just flying there right away from where she was grappled. She looks down at Snow and just yells, I'm in your debt. We're going to do another guiding bolt on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe me if I said it's another nat 20? Different die?
Only because it's you, and I just can't see you lying. Not in this
My
instance,
gosh.
anyway.
39 points of radiant damage total.
What does it look like as you blow up a tree with some guiding bolts?
She's just looking at the tree real hard, And then she takes her hands and just pushes them towards the tree as this giant bolt of radiant light shoots from her hands. And a second, much smaller bolt sort of spins around with it from as she's beating her wings to stay afloat. And it hits the tree right in the middle of whatever sort of face it has. And from there, it just goes.
Can I, for fun, have you all roll me a dexterity saving throw?
All? Beau's not anywhere near there.
Oh, no, not you, Beau. No.
11.
13.
14.
Just shrapnel from the top of the tree where Ste'yn focused this bolt goes flying everywhere. And you guys are able to duck down out of the way to avoid any danger of, like, any kind of dangerous splintering. You can feel it hitting you a bit, feel it getting caught in your hair, the force of it kind of making you firm your grip on the ground, but the rest of the tree just collapses into itself and becomes a pile of root and
Ember.
broken bark.
Bonus action, Shovel's gonna go bonk one of those chickens that's still stubbornly alive.
Yeah, because this one's dead, right? Nora killed that
Yeah,
one.
this one next
Yes,
to
I'm
Nora.
sorry.
Oh,
Yes, it
excellent.
is.
There's just
Okay.
the pathetic one that Ste'yn can
Yeah.
clearly see from where she is.
Knock
up in
it
the
back
air.
into the pit.
She will take the shovel. Spiritual weapon goes, and the goal is to sweep it back into the pit with the force of the action. Plus
To
whatever
sweep
damage
it or to
takes.
bat it? Just gonna
Bat it.
shovel
Like, that's an 18 to hit. Well, scoop and yeet. Like, pick it up and tip it over. That is 9 damage.
And we, I'm gonna say, are out of initiative.
Viola is going to drop to her knees next to Ziva because she wasn't really close with Ziva, but she did at least have some sort of friendship with Ziva, and just kind of examine her, brush her hand over what's left of her hair, and look at her bracelet.
Give me an investigation check.
No, just lies down on the ground on his back.
That's fair.
Beau's walking over and prestidigitating the gunk away from him.
Ste'yn's gonna fly back down to the ground and cast a second level Cure Wounds on herself as she does.
What did you get, Viola?
16.
So, Viola, you kneel down after the dust is still settling a bit, kind of catching your breaths. Viola, you kneel down beside Ziva. As you're looking her over, Nora does the same. She's on her way towards you guys, and she kneels beside Ziva as well. With your 16 investigation, so were you just looking in general around her? Or you were looking specifically at that bracelet?
She was just like checking her over because one of the thoughts in her mind is should they bring her body back and like what to do with that and how much of her body's left, and then she's specifically turning her attention to the bracelet.
As you're looking at her, even at this point, the body looks kind of even more decayed than it had when she first fell. It seems to be a kind of rapid progression, but there's still currently enough of her. There's still a frame there, a form there, but her cheeks are sinking in, her eyes are sinking in. As you turn your attention to the bracelet, you're looking at a thin metal chain around her wrist, and you see what appears to be a small, almost like coin-sized iron disc, sort of like a little iron like medallion, and it's cracked down the middle. It's nearly in 2 pieces as it's cracked. You had seen on her wrist, and this like a line going down, this dribble of red, and you can see more of it lining where that broken part of this pendant is.
Viola will go to remove the bracelet from her wrist to take that back and look at Nora. I don't really know that we should bring her body back. I mean, I don't know what her family situation is like. I hate seeing her like this, and I didn't know her very well. If I was a loved one, I don't know that I'd want to see her like this.
Nora doesn't look up at you. Her eyes are focused on Ziva's face, but she is slowly nodding in agreement with you. I don't think even Ziva would want to be seen this way, but I'm sure she fought. Whatever happened, I'm sure. And she goes quiet again, And you see her hold her hand over Ziva's forehead briefly. She seems to say something under her breath. And then what remains of Ziva's face, her sallow eyes, she brings her fingers gently over Ziva's eyelids. She makes a little gesture with her hand, and then she sits back and just continues to look at her for a few seconds. Then she will stand up and make her way to Ste'yn. Looking you over, seeing at least that you're standing, there's obvious concern on her face as she's looking at you, Ste'yn. Are you all right?
Just fine. Thanks to... She'll nod over towards Snow, who's laying on the ground.
And she sees Snow on the ground and is immediately kneeling next to him.
No! Then gently puts a hand on her shoulder
I'm
and
fine.
pulls her. He's fine. He's just dramatic, that one.
Me?
But I'm fine. Yes, you.
Never.
By this point, Ste'yn's wings are disappearing. They only last for a minute.
Mhm.
And her eyes are stopping glowing. She's just back to her normal self.
Can Beau
And-
search Ziva as well?
Yeah, give me an investigation check. Nora has a moment of watching you just as the wings are disappearing and the eyes are glowing, and there is both a grateful and a just awed and impressed little smile on her face. And she nods in your direction. Of course I knew you were fine. And looks back at Snow. And you are dramatic. If you will, she will
Just
help
gives a
you
thumbs up from the ground.
You don't want to stand up. Nope, rest. It's fine.
Viola isn't
Are
gonna
we
stop
staying?
you, Beau, but she is like giving you like a very disappointed look if it looks like you're like rummaging through her pockets for things.
Well, he got a 17 or a 21.
Are you looking for something in particular, or you're...
He's looking of a combination of if something's of value or something of use or if something might explain anything. So
Sure.
he's just all around looking.
You notice she's wearing the standard cloak from the guardianship. The brooch is there, indicating her rank as a guard. You see underneath the cloak and over her clothing otherwise, she's wearing this apron. It's like the same tone, the same color tone as the rest of her armor and her clothing, but that is where she had removed that weapon from. You also see, just as the body is rapidly decaying, her gloves start to feel loose. Those come off easily enough, and she is wearing a ring on her middle finger. She has a ring. It has numerous little runes on it, and it also has a sigil of the guardianship on her hand.
Does Viola see that too?
Unless he's stealthing to remove it, it would
Well,
be...
I was gonna ask, because if she's giving him a dirty look, then he's gonna sleight of hand the ring.
You can do your sleight of hand against her perception.
Dirty 20.
Oh, well, she beat me. I rolled a 2, so it was only gonna get up to a 13.
So
Okay.
when Viola sees him,
At later levels.
she'll hold out the hand that she's got the bracelet in and just say, I think we should probably take all of her personal items to whoever is her closest family member.
Sure.
Not gonna force Beau, but she's just like holding out her hand expectantly.
Here, put it in her hand.
So she'll just close her hand around it for now. She's not putting it in a pocket or anything.
So she also didn't have anything that, like, alcohol or anything like that, like anything that's super or flammable or combustible. I'm just wondering, because she's an artificer, so I don't know what she might have on her person.
You found just about everything. There's her, that staff, that flail thing she had. There's that. But I think that's about it on her.
All right, so he's gonna get up. All right, well, if we wanted to, we could just burn her body and give her family the ashes. Or not.
Viola just looks at Ste'yn because Ste'yn's the one with the death experience.
Ste'yn slowly nods. You'd be surprised how hard it can be to burn a body if you don't have a magical means to do it. But yes, that is an option. Otherwise, we can bury her somewhere near here until the time comes when she can be more properly interred somewhere she deserves. Whether that be moving bones or whether that be probably moving bones at some point down the line.
Viola
This-
just looks over.
I'll
at the
defer
graves
to
that are already
the captain.
dug next.
I didn't expect to have to concern myself with this so soon. I don't know what her particular... I don't know what her mode would be, I suppose. Although, if she is from Vencelot, then it's likely that cremation or burial would be the ideal.
Is there usually a third option?
You'd be surprised.
I don't know it. Those are the two I know most from that region. As you guys are talking, her body at this point is now almost gone. And you now realize that not just the skin and the muscle and what was underneath is kind of just withering, and then also sort of a similar kind of melty like the midnight beasts had done. There doesn't even seem to be much as far as bone remaining. Everyone give me an investigation check.
Oh, I got a nat 20.
I got a 5.
16.
Noah's still lying on his back.
Excellent. With a 16, you can see that what appears to still remain are at her hands. So you can see these kind of weak-looking, knobby knuckles remaining on the ground. Beau, what you notice is that the hand that you found the bracelet, some of those knuckle joints look brighter than the rest of the otherwise that kind of gray tinge bone color, right? Like it looks almost like it's bleached. It's stand out to you. But it's just a couple of the knuckle bones are standing out like that to you.
It's just gonna pick up the hand. Is it detached from the body?
It's basically all that's left on the ground.
Okay. It's gonna pick it up then and look over it.
Yeah.
He starts doing that, Viola gets up and walks away.
Ste'yn walks closer to Beau to help examine the hand.
I'm good with this part.
Viola will walk over and check on Snow.
Just plop down. How you doing, kid? I'll say, give me one more investigation. Beau, I'll let you do it with advantage for the nat 20.
Wow. I got a nat 1 and a 4. But the 4 can become 13.
That's an 18 from Ste'yn.
Beau, you don't need to mark
Okay.
the die. It's just such an unusual scenario. Like you're not quite sure what you're looking at. Ste'yn, you said an 18?
Mm-hmm.
As you look closer, those knuckles joints that look odd, that look almost bleached, it's not so much they're bleached, they almost now look pearlescent, like with a little bit of a shimmer to them. It looks like they are made of pearl.
Has Ste'yn ever encountered any tale of this, anything like this before?
I like making people roll dice. Go ahead, roll me let's say a religion check.
17?
No, you have not heard of anything like this, of people just being made of not bone, changed in such a way.
Ste'yn will look at Beau. We should bring this, and she'll gesture to the hand, back to Saker's Keep and see if one of the more educated, learned clerics there can tell us anything about it. Perhaps they've encountered something similar somewhere, or can enlighten us to something.
Sure. He'll put it in his bag. Oh, actually, as he's going to put it in his bag, hey, Snow, how about that bag of holding of yours?
From the ground, he just holds it up.
He's gonna walk over and just bloop.
Anything else?
You want to put that rope back in there?
Oh yeah, he looks down and he sees.
You've just been dragging that this whole time. Yep.
Is there anything left of Ziva's body to bury or anything at this point, or has the rest of her just disintegrated?
No, it would just be whatever she was wearing.
Ste'yn will begin folding up her clothes and anything else from her, very respectfully, reverently, and just neatly put them in her bag to return to whoever might desire to have them.
Beau
Nora will help you
prestidigitation them
do that.
clean.
Yeah, that was
Teamwork.
surprisingly nice.
Yeah, Viola is probably remembering that she's got yuck all over her face, and she's gonna start trying to wipe her face off.
Are you right next to Snow?
Mm-hmm.
He'll prestidigitate you clean.
Thanks, Snow.
And then do the same to himself and sit up. So are we staying or going? What are we
I
doing?
think we should go.
I mean, Ste'yn's right here, but
Viola will offer Snow a hand, helping him up.
We came out
Very good.
here to investigate the hovel Nundra again. I think this is a sign there's even more outwork than we realized. If that temple is still anything active, anything there, if it's changed, it could be good to check it out again. But I don't know if that's my call to make. And she'll look over at Nora.
And Nora's just been watching you talk to each other. It's almost a surprise when you bring focus back to her. And she kind of takes in the scene. Yes, that was the intention. Yes. Although after all this, I don't want any more of you getting hurt. Just for me selfishly needing to confirm whether or not they actually found anything out there.
We don't have to go down in the temple.
We can just see if the entrance is still there. And given that we encountered Ziva the way we did, and I'm assuming you were unaware she was even missing after this adventure after she had gone out to investigate. There could be more that's not being told to us that could be a boon to the guardianship as a whole to know what's going on further in. It seems like information is not being explained the way it should.
Wait, how many
And
were
that's
on
the
this
concern.
excavation? How many were in this group?
Of the gods?
Yes, I know how many are in our group.
Fair enough. I don't know exactly how many, but it wasn't a large party. They wouldn't have needed that many.
Well, I'm just thinking, if Ziva's like this, we probably don't want to just waltz over to that area if there's more zombie people.
We
don't
could
know
find
that-
somewhere a little away from here and make a count for the day or evening or something.
That's what I was thinking.
Great. So let's do that. And Snow will just start walking in a direction. And then after about like 20 feet, he'll look back at the rest of the party to see if he's going in the right direction because he doesn't actually know where we're
The
going.
wagon's that way, Snow!
He turns around and walks towards the wagon.
Everyone's just...
When I get back to the wagon, Beau's going to pocket the doctor's notebook into his bag 'cause that was left on the wagon because it kept getting passed back and forth between
Passed
him
around.
and Nora. So he's going to put
Fair.
that away for some light reading.
Nora is trailing a little bit behind as you guys return to the wagon, just quiet as she keeps looking back and pretty clearly always in the direction of where Ziva was. But she will express her gratitude and get back into the wagon with you guys. So the goal is to head where?
Out of the dark, but
Okay. Let's have everyone give me another Constitution saving throw, please.
10.
8.
6.
You start heading over towards the wagon. Just as you're starting to leave where the darkness is really kind of clouding up, you feel your steps getting kind of sluggish. Like this, not an actual level of exhaustion, but as some amount of fatigue seems to kind of make you move a little slow. You feel it kind of wearing on you a little bit.
How's Nora?
She moves even slower behind you guys.
Snow will try to give her a hand, but he does not make eye contact with her.
If you're standing that close to her, she politely refuses. I'm all right. Just a busy day already. But you do hear a small bit of coughing from her. Just little.
When we get back to the cart, Viola's gonna check on Cherry and make sure that she is unharmed. She's just checking him over, giving him some pets, making sure that he's or she's unharmed and ready to go.
An animal handling check, please.
9. Or no, wait, 10. Sorry, 10.
oh,
Okay. Surprisingly makes all the difference in the world. Cherry is uncomfortable. Cherry hates everything about this place. Cherry wants to go. So she is a little bit nippy as you guys return, but once it's clear that you're getting ready to head out, she definitely calms down and follows your lead. Is there anything else anyone wants to do while you guys are here?
As they're walking back, Ste'yn would like to keep looking for Colleen's sword and see if it happens to be here anywhere.
Give me a quick investigation check.
That is a 19.
You do not spot it. You don't see anything that looks like the sword in your dreams.
All right.
You guys pack yourselves up in the wagon, start heading out. You're looking for a place that's not all the way to Undra, like somewhere in between?
yeah.
Okay.
It could be all the way to Undra if it's not in the dark. Like, we're looking for somewhere to...
We're trying not to get to the, shanty house, but also not be
Yeah.
in the dark.
Yeah, once you leave the clearing, the mist is not leaking out so far as that. Like, you can pretty easily just be outside of this mist. But you make your way further down this trail, this path that you had followed. Now that you're back on the familiar path, heading back to Undra. Nora, her eyes are just looking back at where you guys were. And she says, half to herself, but also to you, Ziva did not deserve whatever happened to her. She was truly phenomenal. I wish you could have known her more. Charismatic, always looking to help. A favorite among the gods. Very, maybe influential might be the word. Just marvelous all around. I'm sorry that's how you had to meet her. Or know her.
Well, that's life. A bunch of undeserving people having bad things happen to them.
There are tears falling down Viola's cheeks.
Yeah, it does seem to be that way, doesn't it? Makes it a little difficult to find some hope in this darkness. Only a little.
I think hope is found many times, even when we least expect it. Whether it be in a small gesture from a friend, a word of encouragement, or even just a well-placed hit with a weapon.
You had plenty of those. Did you guys, Viola, did you show what you had taken from Ziva's body, from her hand?
Yeah, she would have offered it to Nora to get to the appropriate people, or she would have put it with the clothes that Ste'yn took, whichever seemed more appropriate at the time.
Nora would take the ring for sure, and she mentioned it is property of the guardianship. It's something that is assigned to guards when they go out. So this would have been part of her assignment gear. The bracelet doesn't, that belongs to Ziva. That's her own. It appears to be her own personal property. But she does look at it since Captain Elikin is her direct superior. He'll know what to do, and we can make sure she receives a proper burial.
Yet he didn't inform you of her disappearance in the first place.
You're right.
That communication again.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll just have to make sure I get an answer this time. That's why we're out here in the first place. Answers. More of that than I expected to get today.
You've gotten answers so far? I've only found more questions.
Well, you've heard enough about my exciting past. Yeah, lots of answers. At least there. She'll put the bracelet in the ring with her pack. If anyone else is injured, she also has additional potion, like one for any given person. You're welcome to those. As you guys make your way.
Is anybody taking one of those potions?
I don't think so. Ste'yn's
Beau's
gonna do her healing hands to give herself a few more hit points. But she's fine other than that.
Beau would take the potion, but then just kind of slide it into his bag to hold on for later.
Fair enough. I offered it.
What kind is it?
Potion of Greater Healing.
How long does the trip to undertake?
From here, you'd get to where you were probably within 2 hours, hour and a half maybe. It's like 3 or 4 miles or something.
So would that count as a short rest?
If you
So
do
just sitting in
nothing
the
but
wagon?
lie back on your back again. Yes, it's a short rest.
So it's 7.
Got it.
Snow will also,
And then-
while this is all happening, Snow will look over at Ste'yn. Glad you're all right. You were pretty amazing out there.
Ste'yn ducks her head a little bit, perhaps a little bit ashamed that she went down. But she just nods. It's easier to be good when you have people supporting you. But thank you.
Well, I'm proud of you regardless.
Proud of me. It's just doing what I'm here for.
Is that not something to be proud of?
I don't know if merely doing the very basic things one is here to do is something that means you should be proud of. It's the bare minimum.
I don't think so. But either way, it doesn't change the fact.
You told me that before, after the game.
That was fun. We should do that again. Not today.
Perhaps.
Oh, I should
No.
have brought alcohol. Next time we go on a trip, somebody remember to bring alcohol.
As you guys are traveling, it isn't long. You know that if you keep going, you will break into that part of the clearing where the hovel is and where the temple is. You're welcome to go all the way, or you're welcome to stop sooner, but you know it is shortly ahead of you. Give me a perception check as you guys are making your way.
Okay, I love these.
Yeah, I think
know
they
you do.
were talking about stopping before reaching there in
Before.
case there's a bunch of
Yeah,
zombie
Viola
people.
would
Only
have
if there was
pulled
the
off
dark,
like
though.
maybe
Only with the mist.
15, 20 minutes before they would have gotten to it.
7.
21.
That's a two.
Minus A 16 or a 21.
While you guys were making this short bit of travel, whatever conversation you were having, if any, Nora would have been attempting some amount of cheerfulness. Obviously difficult. A lot has happened so far just today. You guys have long days. And at some point, though, she kind of lets the conversation continue without her. Her eyes kind of droop a little bit, and then she'll open them again. And she's just watching the scenes go by. Eyes kind of droop a little bit, opens them again. She looks very tired, just as you guys are going. Not in danger. She doesn't look hurt, just tired. But you guys are able to find a spot, find a nice little area to set up a little campground, make yourselves comfortable. At this point, it's
we'll
probably
ritually cast Tiny Hut.
I'm trying to think what time of day it is. You guys
We
got started.
left, I think, around noon.
Yeah. Got detoured when Viola was forced
So
to
it's mid
travel
to late
on
afternoon.
her own. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably late afternoon at this point. It is still those summer months, so the sun is not quite setting, but it is getting on in the day. So it's up to you. Are you guys planning to stop altogether? Or are you planning to kind of hunker down and then in a little bit you'll head out to under proper that area, the hovel?
Say we might as
I mean,
well.
there's no reason to make camp if we're just gonna go.
Yeah.
If we're just gonna sit
have
here for
your
a bit and then
setup,
go. Like we already
You have
did a
your
short
base,
rest.
and then you go. You're only like, what, quarter mile out?
We're not gonna
You
leave
go,
anything.
You
So
come back. Okay. You make your camp, you get yourself situated, and Nora, she helps. She looks like she's kind of pushing herself to make sure she helps set up however she can. Obviously, the magic of the hut is the magic of the hut, but anything else she can do, she is eager to help. But again, at some point, she kind of sits by the hut and is just sitting quietly, eyes kind of dozing, kind of drifting a bit. But she does also thank you guys for continuing this way with her through all of that. And I think that is a solid place to end our welcome back session. To everyone at home. Thank you from all of us here at Tales from the Catacombs. Catch up and recapture your favorite moments by subscribing to the channel. We're over 100. We're like just creeping up a little bit every day. It's very exciting. Obviously over 100 because 100 got us our Battle Royale, which we hope you enjoyed. But we do appreciate you guys journeying with us to bring clean content to the world of tabletop RPGs. And a particularly huge thanks to my players, whose links are in the description below. Please take a moment to follow these tremendous people and their exciting endeavors. David, who plays Beau, Catherine, who plays Ste'yn, Kassie, who plays Viola, and Josh, who plays Snow. I'm Brenna, I am your storyteller for this adventure, and we will see you back here next time. Safe travels until we meet again.